good on paper was absolutely nothing like what I thought it would be like, and I absolutely loved it. It combines comedy and suspense with a pretty great female lead. This was released this year. In fact, it was released last week. It's very rare that I watch a film so quickly to its UK release date. Directed by Kimmy Gatewood and written by Iliza Shlesinger. Also starring Shlesinger. I apologise if I'm mispronouncing her name. I'm terrible at pronunciations. This is on Netflix, and as soon as I saw it, I just thought this looks like something I'm going to enjoy. I thought it was kind of a straight up rom-com, but it's not. There is a darker element to it, and it is brilliant and full of surprise. So I'm not going to spoil anything to the best of my ability, but I will just say, expect the unexpected. This is about a stand-up comic, and basically it starts with her telling this story, and we do occasionally get flash forwards, I guess, to her on stage telling this story, but it's not as bad as I thought that would be, because, put it this way, if you've seen Seinfeld, you know how it often cuts to Seinfeld being on stage. Very, very popular show. Personally, for me, I don't actually like that. I find it very jarring and it takes me out of the moment. But it's not so abundantly done in Good on Paper that you kind of forget that that's the setup of the narrative and that's the trope that they're using to tell this story. So I had absolutely no problems with that at all. And our protagonist, Andrea, is, she's so likeable and so easy to get on with that you want the best for her. She's quite humbled when she needs to be. She's not full of herself, but she is driven. She's passionate and dedicated. And then one day she meets this man called Dennis. And, he's a bit weird. He doesn't seem quite right to begin with, but there's no real reason to suspect that. There's just something about him that's a bit off. And then Andrea begins to realise that there are actually things about him that are not necessarily as they appeared to be. And that's when the darker aspect comes in, as we try and wonder what's the truth and what's not the truth, and, what are his intentions. Really thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of it, because I love thrillers, but I love comedies. And when you combine the two, I just think it's so fun, and really, I absolutely, truly adored that aspect of it. I thought it was just splendid. And it's very rare, at least in my experience, that a thriller comedy is done well. But they completely hit the nail on the head here. I have absolutely brilliant. Ryan Hansen as Dennis, thoroughly enjoyed his performance. Just everybody in this, I felt, was brilliantly cast. Everybody seemed to fit well with their roles. The on-screen chemistry was really enjoyable. I don't have any complaints at all. Absolutely nothing about this, for me, did not work. It's beautiful. I would say this was probably... I want to say it's probably one of the best films I've seen this year. Obviously because of, cinemas not being open and things, I haven't seen as many new releases as I would have liked. But I still think that because there's nothing about it that I can point at and say that wasn't good, or they could have done that better, it definitely makes the top 5. Really brilliant. Surprised to see it's only got 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, because I actually rate it 7.9. It's not quite an 8, but start to finish, thoroughly enjoyed it, and didn't know what direction it was going to take. I have zero complaints. Good on paper is better than it is on paper. It sounded interesting enough, but the execution is actually a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Really thoroughly enjoyed it.